Hey everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, couple housekeeping things. Number one, there's a moving company right outside my window. So if you hear some weird noises, it's because there's a moving company right outside my window. Number two, my cat just puked. So, I might hear some cat puking sounds outside. Number three, I was a little self-conscious about doing this video because I know I need to get my nails done. So listen, I don't want any fashionistas out here going, girl, you need to get your nails done. I know I need to get my nails done. I'm getting them done on Friday. I have the appointment set, okay? Don't want to see any comments. All right. Now that that's out of the way, the energy is very intense right now, isn't it? It's very, very intense. I've been feeling a little out of sort for like the last 2 weeks. We've got solar flares happening. The eclipse cycle is coming up. There's just a lot getting stirred up. People are in transition. I'm talking to a lot of, people, my clients, friends, family. People are in transition. I'm in transition. There's just a lot getting stirred up. So it's not just you. But what it means is we are in a period of intense pressure. It's almost like a French press. That's the image I got. A French press, the teas that you press the little thing down, and that's what causes the tea to brew. That's what causes all the good flavor and stuff to come out. Well, it's kind of the same for us. We're under intense pressure right now, and it's causing all of our impurities, not just impurities, but also our goodness, the good stuff, to come to the surface so that we can see it, we can sort through it. It's like the universe is saying, hey, we got to complete the cycle. We got a whole other level that we need y'all to get to. So let's come on. So we're in a process of accelerated change and transition right now. So it's not just you. Take care of yourself, get some extra sleep if you can. If you can't sleep at night like me, find time throughout the day to get that snooze in. Just really take care of yourself. The self-compassion, self-love, all of that, self-forgiveness, depending on what's coming up to the surface, all of that is going to be very, very important as we move forward. Okay. Now, I want to talk about intuition again. We're going to keep coming back to that because it's just such a vital tool for evolution, for growth, for learning, for healing, and especially for periods like we're in right now, where it is about transition, it is about change, it is about being under intense pressure. There's a lot of stress. That is exactly the time that you need to be partnering and working with your intuition. And intuition is really top of mind for me right now because I'm writing a keynote on intuitive leadership for business leaders. How can business leaders use their intuition to make business decisions? So I'm doing a lot of research, and luckily we're in a time where it's becoming a little more mainstream. There are several prominent business leaders who have gone on record and talked about how they use their intuition in decision making. Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson from Virgin Atlantic, Reed Hastings from Netflix. Only what they say is I use my gut instinct because that's the non-woo-woo word for intuition. But they just using the intuition, okay? Gut instinct is code for intuition, but they just don't want to come out and say it, okay? Now, intuition, as I do research and into different studies that have been done on intuition, what is coming out now is that our intuition is really, really fast. It works very, very fast. And research has shown that in the face of sifting through complex data and having to make decisions about complex data, your gut instinct or your intuition can be right 65 to 90% of the time, which is pretty amazing. 65 to 90% of the time, when you're using your intuition in the face of complex data, your gut instinct, it's going to be right. Another reason to really get in touch with your intuition and start to use it for everyday decisions. When people talk about intuition, though, I'm noticing, especially in the scientific community, because they're not just ready to come right out and go, intuition is the conduit for consciousness. They're not ready to come out and say that. So what they say is your intuition is a faculty that uses pattern recognition and your past experience to make sense of data. So it's almost like they're describing your brain as this supercomputer, or your intuition as this supercomputer that can, make all these connections that you can't logically do on your own, or it would take you a long time to do. So it's almost like they're describing your intuition as just being able to work with information that your brain has access to. That is not my experience of intuition. My experience of intuition is having access to information that is beyond what my brain has access to. Other people's information, a higher perspective that I can't logically sit there and think through. If I did do that, it would feel artificial, or, it would take a lot of time to get to that elevated space. Your intuition works with and is the conduit for consciousness. Consciousness. If you listen to the telepathy tapes, a fantastic podcast that I highly recommend, where they're essentially talking about consciousness. A lot of scientists are now coming out and saying consciousness is the foundation of the universe. Everything is consciousness. When you get down to the quantum level, everything is consciousness. And all of the matter, the material universe that we see, that Newton's physics govern, that all arises from consciousness, not the other way around. Matter doesn't create consciousness. Consciousness creates matter. So your intuition is that channel. It's the vehicle. It's the communication channel between consciousness and your brain. Now, that can be your consciousness. It could also be beyond your consciousness to all that is. And that's the amazing thing. When you step out of your skepticism, when you put your skepticism to the side and just start to be open to having your own experiences, because I can tell you about this stuff all day long. Other people can tell you about this stuff all day long. But if your belief system won't allow you to begin to experiment on your own and have your own mystical experiences with what I'm talking about, you're going to remain unconvinced. And that would be a shame, because that means you would be losing out to access to all this other great information. Now, what does this have to do with this video? I tuned into my intuition this morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And I wanted to know what's going on with me. Why am I out of sorts? Why am I not feeling my normal joyful self? Why am I just feeling like I'm gritting my teeth? And I sat and meditated and tuned into my intuition and asked Spirit to just show me what's going on. And I got the answers. And I wanted to share my experience with you. And by the way, this is the kind of work that I'm doing all the time, if not every day, a couple of times a week at least. I'm tuning in, I'm meditating, I'm connecting, I'm communing with Spirit, I'm communing with Source, and getting downloads of information. So I want to show you what this looks like, again, to hopefully encourage you to begin to experiment and have your own experiences with your intuition, with your consciousness, and with information, both your own and outside of you. So when I tuned into what was going on with me this morning, I got a couple of things. The first thing was, I have a couple of people that I really care about, that I really love, that are going through some challenges, going through some difficulty. And as a part of my shadow work, I know that when I'm worried about people, I will first feel anger about the situation, maybe even anger toward the other person for making me worry about them. You know what I mean? Like, how come you're in this situation and now I've got to worry about you and I feel so hopeless and helpless? First, there's anger. I have to go underneath that. So that's what Spirit showed me. Michelle, you've got these people that you care about that are going through challenging situations. You're feeling angry about that. So let's drop into your heart. Let's activate your heart. Let's activate your compassion for your loved ones. And as soon as I started to do that, the tears came. I went, oh, right. I love them. Love. Let me get out of the anger. Let me shift the energy from the anger. Let's move into my heart. Let's move into compassion. I even got information about what are the lessons they're learning right now. Why are they experiencing this? So that I could have a higher perspective and know how I need to support them as they go through this. Not with anger and judgment, but with compassion and understanding. So that was the first shift. Instantaneous. This was not some long, laborious meditation that I had to do to get the answer. It was, Spirit, show me what's going on. Boom. Ah, okay. I'm angry. Let me shift that. Open your heart, Michelle. The tears started to come. What are they working through? What are the lessons? Ah, understand. Got it. It was as quick as that. That's it. Great. Okay, Spirit, what else am I working through? And I got information about this. I'm deciding if I'm going to be moving to a new city. I'm not going to tell you what city it is yet, but I'm in the process of making that decision. And I was feeling a little bit of anxiety about that because, moves are big. It's one of the 5 big stressors that you can go through in your life. And so, okay, I'm feeling a little anxious about this move. Should I be doing it? Is this the best decision for me right now? And so I asked Spirit to show me what my future would look like if I made this move. And I started to get images. Again, this was not some long drawn out process. It was an immediate download of images of me in various situations, being in people's homes, going to house parties, hanging out with really interesting people, going and listening to music. It was the kind of social life and social experience that I'm looking for, which is the impetus for me to make this move. And I just started to go, yes, I'm okay. I'm meant to make this move. This feels good. It started to activate my emotions and it started to get me excited. That's when right? Started to get me excited. And again, I was getting those visions of me. And I tuned into my future self and she had a big smile on her face and she was going, come on. So my imagery, my inner sight started to get activated, right? So that was something that my intuition started to show me. So the anxiety started to lift. I started to shift from anxiety to excitement about this potential move. Great. The other thing that was weighing on me was a little bit of envy. I am very, very open about my shadow, okay? My shadow has things that, it's just the less mature parts of us, the less conscious parts of us. And the more that we can acknowledge and work with our shadow, the more we can love all the different parts of ourselves and be honest about who we are, the more authentic we are, the less judgmental of ourselves we are, like it's all a thing. So I do not hide my shadow. I'm very open. So there was a little bit of envy. I saw a couple of social media posts from people going, hey, I'm doing this right now, and I'm doing this right now. And I was feeling a little bit of, should I be doing that? Right? Just a little bit of doubt, a little bit of competition. It was like, I see. And I started to get the reassurance that, no, Michelle, what you're doing right now is what you should be doing. You're needed. This is necessary. We need to hear from you. So I got that reassurance. And after about 15 minutes of meditating and using my intuition to get images, to get, sounds, to get information about my present, the things that I'm worried about, the things that I'm feeling right now that are in my present, and also my future, I was good. I was back to my old Michelle. All of that angst that I've been feeling for the last week or so lifted. And I was back to, okay, feeling the joy, feeling the optimism, feeling the sense of contentment, feeling excitement and anticipation and hope about my future. And that's the power of working with your intuition. And not just working with intuition, but working with intuition as the conduit, as the channel, as the communication vehicle for consciousness. Not just yours, but other people's, past, present, future, so that you can begin to have access to more information, to shift your energy, and make decisions. That's what we're talking about. So I wanted to share that with you, again, as a demonstration of the power of your intuition. And how do you start to work with this? Let me give you some even more tools. I know that I've given you the roses. I know that I've given you the gold suns. I'm also a really big proponent of using a grounding cord. I'm going to talk more about this in the next video. The grounding cord is really important to ground you in the present moment. We don't make decisions in the past. We don't make decisions in the future. We make decisions in the present. So if you are in the fear, anger, sadness emotions, some of which may be based in the past, some of which may be based in, anticipation of a negative future, you're anxious about something, you're worried about something, you don't want to be making decisions from that place. You want to ground yourself in the present moment. Get back to the present information, your present state, your present reality, and then make decisions from there. So grounding yourself is also very important. So in this moment, if you want to do this with me, I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, tune in, ask your intuition to partner with you. Open yourself up to your intuition. Open yourself up to your highest information, the totality of your awareness and your consciousness. And I want you to imagine a grounding cord. If you're sitting down, I'm imagining you're sitting down as you're watching this. It goes from it can be your tailbone. It can be your genital area. But a grounding cord that goes down from your energy field, from your body, through your energy field, through your chair, through the floor, through the earth. Feel the earth, the energy, the grounding, the dirt, the smell of the earth. It goes all the way down to the center of the planet. Now, this grounding cord can look like the root of a tree or the trunk, like a trunk of a tree. It can look like a PVC pipe. It can look like a metal tube. It can look like anything you want. Right now, my grounding cord looks like a stalactite. You know those stalactites, the crystals that form in caves from water dripping down? That's what mine looks like. It looks like a big crystalline, rock that goes from my torso down into the earth. And there's colors and there's all kinds of things. But that's what my grounding cord looks like. Right? So this can look any way you want it to, but the principle here is that you're grounding yourself in the earth in present time. So postulate that you're grounding yourself. Imagine this grounding cord going all the way down to the center of the planet. It's firm. It's anchoring you in the present moment. And another thing you can do is call back all of your energy from any moment, time, space, experience, place, person that is not you in this present moment in time. Call it back from you, the version of you that was yesterday. Call it back from the astral plane when you go to sleep. Call it back from any people. Call it all back. Call it back from the future. Call it back from your job. Call it back from your school. Call it back from any person, place, thing, time, space that is not you in this present moment. Call it all back. Ground yourself. Affirm that grounding cord. Bring in big gold suns that represent your highest information. Create and destroy roses to release anything that no longer serves you, that is keeping you from being firmly anchored in this present moment. And allow this process to continue for just a couple of seconds. But I want you to get a sense of what it feels like to be present. You know, I teach presence, which is charisma, presence, which is how you show up in the world, presence, which is how you present your ideas and yourself. But presence is fundamentally about being present. So the more present you are, the less reactive you are, the more access to your own information you have, and the more presence you have. All good things. All right, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much. I really want to encourage you to use your intuition, continue to practice these activities, these exercises. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and let me know. I'm here for you. I love you. Until the next video, be well.